One, two, one, two, one, two. What's going on? It's your boy Jason Mass. Jason Mass playing music. About to get off into a review of the new Depeche Mode record entitled Memento Mori. Um, yep. Just came out today. Let's see, what's that? March 24th, 2023. And this is their 15th studio album. The first Depeche Mode album since the death of Andy Fletcher. And now Depeche Mode went from a quartet, Alan Wilder left, then it became a trio. Andy Fletcher passed away. Now it's a duo with Martin Gore and Dave Gahan. Only two left in the band. And it's their first LP in 6 years. First new album, 6 years, and yeah. Let's see. What I noticed about this record, 12 tracks deep. Of the 12 tracks, I really dug 8 of the tracks. I liked 8 of the 12, 2/3 of the record. Um, the tracks that had the more bright sounding synthesizers didn't work quite as well. The bright synthesizer bass tracks and the ones that kind of had a more kind of drive in kind of rhythm, it you know didn't quite those didn't quite hit me as much as the more slower paced, almost kind of ballad type tracks. Um, just something I noticed while listening to the record. And what I'm gonna end up doing is eventually going back and refamiliarizing myself with all of the post 1990 Violator era material, because I was a hardcore Depeche Mode fan, like a whole lot of people back in the 80s. They were 1/3 of my Holy Trinity high school, alternative, rock bands. There was Depeche Mode, The Cure, and The Smiths. So, but after about 1990, I would hear the records a couple of times, and then I kind of just, I kind of moved on. But I feel like I need to go ahead and go back and give those albums a deeper listen, a more thorough listen, because it's been years since I've heard, a lot of those. Like a lot of those I didn't revisit after playing them once or twice. So I plan on doing that. But as far as this record, we're gonna go ahead and do a track by track review, like always. I'll give you my scores for each individual track, and then tell you what the overall score of the album is. So let's see. Where do we go? The first track, My Cosmos is Mine. My Cosmos is Mine. To me, that was a 9 out of 10 track. A very good way to start the LP. Distorted kind of buzz and quirks and words going in and out of the track. Very strong beginning. Pretty cool introduction to the record. Those bright synths that I was talking about appear on the second track, Wagging Tongue, which was an 8 out of 10 for me. Um, then we go to the third track, Ghost Again, which was the lead single. And there's something about that track that just it didn't I didn't hate it, but it's something very middle of the road, very MOR, and I would not have picked that as the first single. Not a bad song, but just a kind of indescript track in my opinion. Um, yeah. So from there we go to "Don't Say You Love Me." It was a ballad, um, led by pretty cool, subtle guitar strums, and that's always funny to me to see. I know Depeche Mode have been it kind of been incorporating guitar into their sound for years now at this point, but I still always think about Depeche Mode being an all synth kind of operation. But that's always interesting to me when I hear, guitar kind of sprinkled in their music now. Yeah, the track "Don't Say You Love Me," 9 out of 10. The next track, "My Favorite Stranger," has that kind of driving, pulsating synth thing that at one time would have been a definite sure shot thing that worked, but it doesn't quite hold up in the same way in 2023. There's almost a slightly dated quality about that. Um, that I didn't, it's just weird because I just recently kind of noticed that. And this is something that would have really worked before, on previous Depeche Mode records, but in 2023, it don't quite, hold up quite as well. Just times change, sensibilities change, and taste change. Um, my favorite stranger, um, yeah, that was it's not a bad again. There's not a bad song on the record, but it's like one of the lesser tracks and still manages to be an 8 out of 10 in my opinion. Next track, "Soul with Me," Martin Gore led vocal, very dignified croon Martin Gore has developed um, over the years, and it's kind of cool to see the maturation of him as a vocalist, and not just a songwriter but as an actual vocalist. That's a great song. 9 out of 10 for that one. The next track, "Caroline's Monkey," 8 out of 10. Not bad, but just it doesn't hold up as well as a lot of the other material. So it's one of the lesser tracks. Not bad, but you know, like I said, it's not quite as good as some of the other stuff. Um, then we go to the eighth track, "Before We Drown," 9 out of 10. Very subtle synth swells, kind of propel the track. Great song. It's actually from here on out on the rest of the record, from tracks 8 through 12, all of those are 9 out of 10. The next track, which is called "People Are Good," it has a kind of slight soul and funk, kind of tentative, slight soul and funk undercurrent to Dave Gahan's vocals. I thought that worked out pretty nicely. That was a 9 out of 10. Also, there's "Always You," another solid ballad, 9 out of 10. I noticed that the more slower, concentrated tracks on here are the ones that really resonate and really hit home with me on this record. Yeah, "Always You," great track, 9 out of 10. The next track, "Never Let Me Go," 9 out of 10. This is the one exception as far as the up tempo kind of driving tracks. This one actually works. This is like the only one to me on the album that has that kind of pulsating up up tempo kind of thing going on with it, where it actually it hits the right spot. Great track, 9 out of 10. And the final track, the kind of very cinematic climax, "Speak to Me," 9 out of 10. Great way to close the album. And I noticed something about the titles in some of the final tracks. It's almost kind of like there's slight, you know, echoes of like past tracks through their titles. Um, like "People Are Good," that recalls "People Are People." "Never Let Me Go," that recalls "Never Let Me Down Again." And "Speak to Me," which recalls "Speak and Spell." Just something I noticed just when I was, you know, writing up the notes for this. But yeah, overall, I would give this record an 8.8 out of 10. Like I said, 2/3 of this record, solid. and the last 5 songs are great, you know. So yeah, there's that. Depeche Mode, Memento Mori, Jason Mass plays music, Jason Mass playing music. Thanks for watching. Peace.